Due to possible harmful extremist content, parental discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of the station, its affiliates, or advertisers. The use of the show is only allowed with the express written permission of the producer and the host. So get ready for 2 hours of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show starting right now.
Yeah, and that's why the earth is flat. Anyway, folks, welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. And we're here tonight again hanging out with Bullhorn Barry. What's up, Barry?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to the show. As always, man, it seems like things are heating up once again and things are starting to come to a head.
Yeah, they tend to do that, don't they?
Yeah.
Where you're probably, as we were talking about in the pre-show, referring to some degree towards what's going on in Belfast in Northern Ireland. Last night, a crazed Sudanese terrorist, let's call him, tried to behead a local guy there, an Irish dude, in the middle of the street in broad daylight, more or less, right? I think it was evening, but I mean, it wasn't very dark. At least not according to the video I'm watching of this guy. He's sitting on his chest. The guy's on his stomach, and he's just trying to cut his neck off. He's trying to decapitate the dude in the middle of the street. And this lady's like the only one around. She's like, what the heck are you, do you know what I mean? Like, stop, get off him, you animal, you filth. And, it takes a few minutes, and finally they pry the guy off and rush the dude off to the hospital, and apparently he is going to survive by the, hair of his chinny chin, so to speak. But this dude, a beheading in the streets. The people in Ireland are pissed. They're pissed. They're going out in numbers. Here's a statement from Rupert Lowe.
Good morning, everybody. I've just watched the most horrific footage from Northern Ireland, from Belfast, of one man
Oh, God.
on top of another with a knife, obviously screaming and shouting. Some patriots effectively attempted to intervene. I don't know what has happened to the victim, but it didn't look good. I now call for the police with full transparency to disclose the ethnicity and immigration status of the person who perpetrated the attack. This is a disappointingly growing trend which is affecting all of us. It stems from immigration, largely. It stems from the fact that there's a whole industry of people who have made vast amounts of money propagating an industry called the human rights industry, which basically has fed off the back of the legal complexities surrounding human rights law. Those are people like Keir Starmer, Lord Hermer, a whole raft of people who I think put their own interests above those of the safety of the British people. And it's time we got some honesty from the police force, who are paid for by the British taxpayer. They're supposed to serve the British taxpayer, and they're supposed to keep us all safe. We can quite clearly see with the recent tragic death of Henry Novak, we can see two-tier policing. And now I think I call for total transparency. If you have transparency, you have truth. And from truth, you can actually start to deal with the issues that are causing the problem. Until we have that, I'm afraid we are going to continue to, all of us, suffer from increasing distrust, an increasing feeling of a lack of safety. And that is not going to be good for all of us. We want our high trust society back, and we're not going to get it back by people being deceitful. We need honesty, we need truth, we need
authenticity. Yeah, this is going to get worse. I mean, have you seen these videos, Barry, of the people kind of storming down the streets, knocking down doors, lighting homes on fire, lighting cars on fire? There is we haven't seen this before. This level of sort of anger and vandalism that the Irish people are out there doing in the streets to really demonstrate that they're at the end of their rope and no one's listened to them. And you better start, so to speak. You better start listening, because they're going to take this to the next level, and they're appearing to do so in some of the videos I've seen, where literally, breaking down doors and burning homes. Wild stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think it's even worse than that. There's actually been a militant group that has formed called the ICA, which stands for the Ireland Citizen Army. And they said they no longer want to be seen as a second-class citizen in their own nation. And I condone all violence, so I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm just saying this is where it's led to, and this has been the globalist plan, is they want to create civil war so that they can have it just all collapse, and then they can bring in their police state, their authoritarianism, their Great Reset, and then put in really a lot of just, police state type stuff like tracking, surveillance. I mean, they got it all ready to go with the AI. So they've been pushing for the Civil War to happen. And it looks like that's what's going to possibly happen, a civil war in that nation. And it's sad, but, and I think the guy was Sudanese. It came out later. And I heard, but I haven't confirmed any of this yet, but the last time I checked, that he gouged his eyeballs out too. So he's not going to be able to see if he does live. I mean, the guy was brutal to the guy. He literally was just doing barbaric, demonic things to this guy in things. I mean, it's hard to even wrap your head around just how evil it really is. And remember, we were just talking about this. It was either last week or the week before that. We were saying that this image of radical Muslims with knives and swords in their hand screaming Allah Akbar is in our psyche, and then, beheading people, stabbing children and infants in their walkers. I mean, it's just, this is all part of their agenda to put fear in the hearts of the people in Ireland, the people in the UK, the people in Canada, and they're trying to do it here in the United States as well. And they're giving these people a free pass. They're giving them a free pass as a general rule.
Yeah, they're giving them a complete pass. It's tragic. And, I was just, before we came in, before I got the call, I was reading this article about the demographics in the UK school system and how native, white British people represented 71% 10 years ago. Today, they represent 59%. So they've lost, 12 points or so, 11 points, somewhere in there over the last 10 years. And that's scheduled to happen again. You look at preschool over there, and it's like 60-some% minority in England. So, that's the future. You put that down the pipeline 10 years, they're all, in high school, and now you've got a majority minority school system in the UK. And, mind you, gosh, I think I have this article up as well. The systems are being overrun. Okay. Free if you can get it. This article from Breitbart. Over 300 people died every week while waiting for treatment in British emergency rooms in 2025. Okay. The numbers here are staggering, dude. I mean, think about that. 300 people died every week while waiting for treatment in an emergency room. The hospitals are apparently pushing for you to, if you got a guy with a migraine, give him some aspirin and get him out of there so you can have a successful check on the list. How many people did you successfully treat today? Well, I got that guy with a headache, got him out of here. I got another one. I had to give him 2 stitches in his arm. He's gone. He's happy, right? But the dude that came in on his deathbed, we couldn't get to him. He's gone. You know what I mean? Something about here. Where's the numbers here? People are waiting crazy amounts of time. The Royal College said the rate of avoidable deaths at A&E started to rise after a patient had been kept waiting for 5 hours and continued to rise every hour thereafter. Incredibly, 1.74 million patients in emergency rooms in Britain were forced to wait at least 12 hours last year.
Wow.
Okay, 489,000 had to wait over 24 hours to be seen. So, the health system, the schools, everything, it's being inundated. It's breaking to accommodate for people that, have contributed nothing, have just showed up on a boat, don't speak the language, and, for the most part are never going to even have much of an interest in learning English. Why would they? Their whole neighborhood speaks Somali.
I'm just wondering if one of those radical Muslims got, taken to the hospital, if they would be forwarded to the front and have them expedited to be treated versus, because, they're not going to let the white person be treated. They're going to put him at the back of the bus, so to speak. Just like what you were talking about last week with the guy saying, I can't breathe, the white guy. And they let him bleed out right there. They didn't even help him. Dude. I mean,
in handcuffs.
Yeah, because they demonized the white man, and all of these radicals, they seem to, and I'm not saying every Muslim is a radical. I'm saying the radicals are almost like heroes to these people because they don't condemn what they do. And when they do, they go, oh, it's isolated. It's rare. No, it's not, man. We've been talking about this for years, about how their culture, a lot of their culture does not match with ours or with the UK's or with Canada's or even Germany's, but yet they just bring these people in who want to take over the cultures. And it goes back to what we were talking about either last week or the week before about the scorched earth policy of the left and the globalists. They want to burn down nations' sovereignties and their cultures so that they can rebuild under their globalist, dystopian, liberal world order, which would be a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair now, this was a member of the Sikh community who killed Shah. And the leaders of the community came out immediately and condemned it wholeheartedly, in a very honest and, meaningful way, which you never, ever see from the Islamic community. Hate to say it. You just don't see it, right? Somebody comes out and they just distance themselves, like you said, nothing to do with us. Whereas the Sikh community stood up and said, hey, this doesn't represent us. We're sorry. We feel horrible for it. We're going to honor the family and, on and on. So it's a different culture. And, it's this guy was just a bad hombre, but still, should he have been here anyway? You know what I mean? Should he have even been in the country and been in a position to do that? And what about that two-tier system, two-tier cure? Sir Kiyastama. I am Kiyastama. Fear my wrath. Yeah. I will instill two-tier justice.
He loves it, obviously.
And now, do they have two-tier health system too? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're asking.
What's crazy to me about the whole thing is you have the left pretty much on a global scale. I think they are even trying to do it here in the United States as well. They're saying if you point this out, that this was a Sudanese guy, or you share the video, the graphic video, that is a hate crime. But I'm pretty sure that the hate crime is what's being done on the citizens of the nation when they just go to randomly stabbing people. That's the hate crime. Us exposing the hate crime is not a hate crime. Let's make that crystal clear. And so they're literally pushing madness through the media onto the masses, and I think just expecting them to believe it. And maybe the not so sharp people do, but the hate crimes are being done by the radicals who just have grooming gangs, and they stab people randomly. They harass people. They stalk women. I mean, the list, there's rapes. There's all kinds of madness happening, and it's got to stop. We're not the hate people. We love humanity. That's why we're pointing out that you just can't let anybody and everybody come in unchecked when the cultures don't mesh.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shocking thing. When you travel around the world, you start seeing, how different societies are, right? I mean, no disrespect to India, but it's if you have garbage, you throw it on the street. If you need to do a number 2, you do it on the sidewalk, right? There's beaches there. Have you ever seen those beaches where it's just dudes in the morning taking a crap out there? Like, that's the whole beach, like what should be their nice beach where they can go to the beach but no, it's littered like it's a bomb field. You know what I mean?
Clothes in that, I've heard as well. I watched a documentary on it a while back, and that dirty water they wash their clothes with, so their clothes isn't even getting clean. And I think that, they just need to be civilized. And there's good people from probably all of these nations, but that's why we have checks and balances, and that's why we have legal immigration. And if people are going to come over with a refugee status, we need to know who they are and what their intent is.
Exactly. And even a lot of the people now, there's a big scam going on right now in the United States where a lot of the people coming over on H-1B visas, 80 to 90%, according to Gateway Pundit, of H-1B applicants from India contain fraudulent documents or unqualified applicants, right? So the people they're bringing over, and if you think about it, right, Google's got these big, like, I don't know, floors where people sit in the bullpens, and there's like a 500 people in a giant room full of, programmers and whatnot, and they're all Indian. They have entire departments that are 100% Indian. Okay, so you get recruited into one of these groups, and they, immediately your supervisor, pretty much figures out you don't know how to code, you don't know what you're doing, but it just is overlooked. We'll teach you. We'll get you up to speed. It might take 6 months, but we'll get you up to speed. We'll get you where you need to be, and we'll get you to the point where you can pass off decent work so you can keep getting the money, so you can stay in the country, so you can take the place of somebody who just spent $250,000 to get a computer science degree and can't find a job. Certainly not at Google, but all these people from overseas, no problem. This H-1B thing is disgusting. It's just, it needs to go. I don't understand why we allow it to happen, but I understand why the companies want it, and I understand that the companies that want it are the ones that fund the campaigns for the people in power. And so it almost seems like a bipartisan thing that we should just be importing, tens and tens of thousands of people to work in, hundreds of thousands really, to work in our tech industries here when we have U.S. citizens that would die for the chance to say, to their buddies, yeah, I work for Google. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the goal of the globalists is to put stress on the Western civilization that is prosperous. They don't, instead of elevating every nation, which could easily be done, and it has been being done, but they've limited it. The globalists have. They've decided who gets to be the winners and who gets to be the losers in that little field. You know what I mean? Like that's why you have two portions of India. One portion is very prosperous. The other portion is living kind of in the dark ages. They don't have much modern civilization and medicine and their wealth. They don't have much. So it's better to really elevate all nations than to drain the strong nations down to their level so that we're all easily controlled and manageable. That's the end game, really. They just don't like the idea of prosperity, because anytime you have people that are prosperous, you can't control prosperous people. You need to have them to where they are begging for your help, man. That's why they're pushing that chump change universal basic income. Once they get that done, they own us, man. That's the end of the rope if they get that done.
Yeah, it's all about the power, man. It's all about the power. And what really gets them too is that's why they hate Donald Trump so much. Let's decrease regulation. Let's just do a bunch of common sense things. Let's shut down the border. Let's literally just think, your own sovereign country. What would you do to make life better for your citizens, and start doing those things? They can't stand it. Because if it succeeds, it shows that what they want is wrong. It'll never work.
Yep.
It proves to the world that higher and higher and higher taxes and tax the billionaires and millionaires and confiscate all the wealth and, take over the corporations doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
What works is freedom.
Well, Jeff Bezos has gone a few years without paying any taxes, and he just came out saying, well, anybody that makes under 50,000 or something like that, we don't need to tax those people. We don't need to put a burden on those people. But this is a guy that pays no taxes that's close to a trillionaire. Why are we listening to psychopaths?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. They made this tax code specifically for wealthy people that allows them to go hire very, very wealthy people who work in very expensive, accounting firms. And they go out and, you want to pay as much as you have to pay legally, right? So they always teach you that, right? pay your fair share, but do it legally. If you can take an exemption, take the exemption. If you can do this, you can move something over here or whatever to make it more beneficial, go for it. And so when the vast majority of your wealth is in, stock, you're not really necessarily making much of an income. I mean, some of these guys make $1 a year. Others make, 14, 15 million. But, if you've got billions of dollars and they want to pay you $1 salary, fine, take it, whatever. You know what I mean? So if that's going to avoid more taxes, go, there's a million things they can do to shift it around and legally get around the taxes, because the accounting firms that they hire are the ones on K Street with the lobby money writing the laws for how things get taxed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
well said, man.
It's the best money government money can buy. We have the best government money can buy in the world, and that's kind of the way it works. And they put up roadblocks to make it impossible to get into new industries. Why did it take, the electric car revolution for anybody to break the big three auto, domination here in the U.S.? Because you can't compete. There's too many laws, too many regulations, too many loopholes that you don't know about. And when you find out about them, they all cost, hundreds of thousands of dollars each to comply with. And that's exactly the way they want it. They don't want, Coca-Cola doesn't want a new dude coming in the alley and starting to sell, his carbonated sugar water. So they're going to make it as hard as they can. And it's sad, but, our government needs to be purged of the money. It shouldn't cost $1 billion to run for president. This Tom Steyer guy in California dropped, I think, $400 million on his couple of bids for governor out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped money at it. Unfortunately, nobody likes him,
Okay.
He's a far left billionaire. How are you going to make that fly in commie formula,
Good point. Very good points across the board, man. I really don't have a lot to add to that. It was said so well.
Well, thank you. I do my best, But yeah, 80 to 90% of H-1B applicants were found to have some fraudulent information contained in their applications. And they found over 100,000 counterfeit degrees that they never went to college whatsoever, but they got, counterfeit degrees.
Sure.
And, they're using those to break down the door at Google and, all these other big tech companies, and cutting out Americans, cutting out your kids, folks, that you paid $250,000 for them to go get a computer science degree. And now they're getting stiffed because we'd rather have people from India come over who will work for a fraction. And guess what? You tell them you got to work on Saturday. Yes, sir. You get fired, you go back home. It's like an indentured servant. You know what I mean? This is sort of a modern day slavery almost. It's
yeah. And they're always trying to centralize power. You know what I mean? Creating monopolies, and the middle class is shrinking. The small business owners are shrinking. And like you said, they design it that way.
Yeah. Walmart's got to say in it. All the big box stores want you out. They don't want mom and pop. They want to take over it all. And, for us, we get to make, 2 stops instead of, 3 or 4. And not have any personality or anyone in the stores who really knows as much as they would when it was mom and pop running the place, But I don't know. It is what it is. We live in a crazy, mixed up world, Barry. Have I told you that before?
I'm starting to figure that out now. It just dawned on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's depressing and all. It is what it is, but we're just getting started. I mean, we're only like a fourth of the way through the show tonight so far. So, folks, we've got crazy stacked on top of crazy coming at you tonight in all different directions. I'm kind of shocked at some of the things going on in the world. When we come back, I want to talk just for a minute or two about this Lego story that we got into on Sunday night, because it's really interesting. And man, this company is evil. This, I guess I can name it. Bricks and Minifigs. Bricks and Minifigs. Company seems to be absolutely vile, reprehensible, evil people. and they're tied up into the Mormon Church, it seems, and the public offices out there in Utah, and it's a big black eye on the state and certainly for the company. I don't know if anyone's ever going to want to work with them again to move product or whatever. But folks, we're going to take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we're on radio break.
All right then, yeah, go.
And that just seemed to go real quick.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I was thinking you were going to take the break at the 40-minute mark tonight.
I was thinking maybe, but I was pulling back because I thought, well, he's probably going to do the 24, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah.
Well, Wednesday's the 25.
Yeah, unless no, even when Brent's in, we do that. Yeah.
Oh,
whatever. Did you guys find out what happened to Brent?
No.
I have not sent him an email. I kind of forgot to do it this week, so I haven't heard from him.
I was wondering if maybe he would be coming today. So.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But I didn't.
I kind of thought he'd be in today, but I forgot to email him. So. And I didn't even realize it was Wednesday till like halfway through today.
That's how I was last week.
A lot of people are saying that the days are blurring because they're moving so fast. People forget what day it is. And I'm starting to think that might be true because I'm starting to notice it as well, that things are happening very fast now. The weeks are going by fast. The days are I don't know, man. They say as you get older, too, that time moves faster, or at least the perception of it is. And it does seem that way. It really does.
Yeah.
I concur.
I concur, too.
Could just be another conspiracy, though. Who knows? It's the Mandela effect.
No, everyone's always said that as long as I've been around, that the older you get, the faster time goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think so many people are just kind of fighting to stay, afloat. So they lose track of time as well. They got busy lives just to keep paying the bills and dealing with all the obstacles that come. There's been a lot. I mean, especially with people dropping dead like crazy and getting sick like crazy, probably because of the death jab, in my opinion, but that's just allegedly. But that causes a problem, That puts a weight on families. It puts a weight on people's emotions and their mind. I mean, just imagine what motivation went. She's a real trooper, man. I mean, she has got to be. She's like Hulk Hogan strong, man. She is so. I mean, man, everything she did, man, to help everybody out as they were suffering from the side effects of those jabs, and she lost all of them. But she fought for them. She fought for all of them.
Yep.
Have you heard back from her lately?
I haven't heard from her, but she I think she commented maybe or dropped a like on one of my posts today, but I haven't heard from her.
Yeah, let me see if she's up in my DMs.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, she is. Here she is. I'm back.
Back where?
She was off.
Oh, are you going
to
talk about Carmella Anthony as well?
Offline for a couple weeks.
Are you going to talk about Carmella Anthony as well? Because that's a pretty big story.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and the lunacy that came with that. I mean, we got to talk about the lunacy of the left, man. They're nuts. And they're threatening to kill people. They're threatening to. They don't come out this weekend. They're saying some black people were saying this. I'm a minority, a fringe. They were saying, don't come out if you're white, because we will hurt you. Like it's, the guy murdered the guy in cold blood, and somehow it's white person's fault. I don't get it, dude. It's insane.
Yeah. So Motivation says she'll be in on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So we got that going for us. That's great.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Willie will be so happy.
Oh, not when Aunt Mama Lou gets on there and hits him over the head with the frying pan.
Yeah. Anyways, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. Bullhorn Barry, man. You said you weren't following this Lego story too much, but, the part 1 came out and everyone, I don't know, 10 million views by now. Mm-hmm. And in a recap, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, quick recap, this YouTuber tries to help this guy who commissioned the sale of his $200,000 Lego set to a local company, a local branch of a nationwide company called Bricks and Minifigs. And apparently the way it looks, and I'm just going off of what I've seen on the internet here, is that the store, their corporate office, kind of figured out that they got a hold of this huge inventory and decided to go in and kick the owners of that franchise out. Right. So this guy, $200,000 worth of stuff on consignment there. They kick out the current owners and say they breached their contract for actually taking stuff on consignment, but then didn't return the products that were on consignment, that were the dispute over why they lost their franchise. And the corporate has made every attempt to say screw you to this YouTuber, Dangerous Ben, I think his name is, who's trying to get the Legos back for this family. They've arrested him multiple times. They've charged him with all kinds of different felonies. He's under a gag order. His part 3 did not come out. Instead, put out a couple-minute long video just saying that he can't talk about the company in question anymore, and if he releases part 3, the $300,000 or so that they've raised through GoFundMe to get the family whole would be seized by Bricks and Minifigs, who would then take possession of that money as well. Add insult to injury, right? The money that's there to help the victim here. Not only do they steal the $200,000 worth of Legos, but then they get the GoFundMe money to boot. Would be a travesty. So, all this stuff's going on, and it just goes to show you, when an individual is out there trying to fight a giant corporation like this, he's going to get screwed, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they swatted his house at gunpoint and dislocated his shoulder,
Yeah, not surprising.
So I think cops are in on it. The judges seem to be in on it. It just goes all the way up. And apparently the kicker here is the judge that is laying down all these, orders is the same judges in the Charlie Kirk case.
Wow.
Of all odds. Yeah. So fascinating story. And that's kind of the update there that, Dangerous Ben is under all kinds of different restrictions of what he can and can't say, and he can't even release any more of these videos. So we're kind of on hold for now, but man, the community out there is putting together this giant Lego community and giant legal community that are all intertwined in this case and laying out a lot of analysis on the side. And it's really interesting to watch all this. So we'll see where it goes. But diving back into actual news, during the break, we were talking about the Anthony Carmelo trial, which just came to an end yesterday with a jury deciding unanimously that he was guilty. And I guess he's facing, a 35-year sentence now, and time reduced in half for good behavior, if he can manage that. So I don't know. What's your take on all that, Barry?
It's just madness. He should have gotten life without parole. The guy got off easy, man. Let's just be honest. Full justice was withheld. And the people that were there supporting him by the courthouse or what have you, or gatherings, wherever they gathered around America, were nuts. They're nuts, man. They think he's like some kind of a hero, like he's the victim somehow. It's completely bizarre. That's not what the case showed. It was, in my opinion, a cold-blooded, brutal, racist, hate, crime, murder. And that's my opinion. I don't know for sure that it was a hate crime. and racist, but it sure seems to be that way. And then you have the people that are supporting him with their racist rhetoric, some of them saying that if you're white and you come out this weekend, we're going to hurt you. Which
did you see the video of the family leaving the courthouse and getting harassed by a half a dozen or so folk out in the parking lot who were saying, I mean, the most vile things. Your other boy should die. You know, just vile people, you know.
Yeah, vulgar.
And
vile. Yeah.
You know.
Well, what
I'll tell you though, yeah, this kid.
What about that $650,000 that the family got? Why was he still using a public defender with that $650,000? Why was he the father driving a brand new Escalade or whatever? You know, why? Where is allegedly, of course, where is all that money? Why didn't they use the money to help their son? That's what I wanted. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just a complete reflection of all the things that are bad and wrong with America.
It's BLM all over again. You know what I mean? They raised this $600,000 to give him a legal defense, and they still went with a public defender. And did you hear what the public defender said in his closing statements?
Tell me.
He said it was possible. And, you know, like the reasonable doubt thing, right? It's possible that the guy who died, I forget his name, stabbed himself with a knife.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, it could have been, you know, struggle, whatever, and he stabbed himself. He caused himself to get stabbed. And, you know, hey, reasonable doubt, right? You got to have a reasonable doubt. So, but they're appealing it, and I doubt it'll go anywhere. This is pretty cut and dry. It's just, you know, a situation where this guy brought a knife to a track meet and had it in his bag, and then he was over in an opposing school's canopy where, you know, you don't go. Everyone on the field knows that you stick to your own canopy. You don't go to other schools' canopies and, you know, try to hang out there and sit with them. It's not done. You stay with your own school. And so here he is standing under their canopy. It's raining. I mean, granted, maybe he's trying to stay dry, but whatever. And they asked him to leave. They ask him repeatedly to leave, and he refuses. And then stabs the victim. Yep. Just 15, stabs him in the heart.
He was asked 15 times.
15 times.
Yeah.
So you're trying to kill somebody when you stab them 15 times. There's no other way around that. You want them to die.
And then I saw on X all these people that are on the left that support this guy, and they're saying this has got to stop. But not that the white guy was killed, but that, you know, he's going to jail. This kind of stuff has to stop. And I'm like, maybe this guy shouldn't murder. How about that? Maybe this guy shouldn't murder someone in cold blood. Huh? How about that?
Yeah. And okay, Einstein, what's the proper, you know, punishment for stabbing someone 15 times to death? What is the proper punishment? 6 months probation? Is that what you want? Would that make you happy, or would that still be too much?
Well, they're treating it like a George Floyd incident, which was kind of jacked up as well. Once you look into the details of that, it's not exactly as, you know, cut and dry as they made it, but far better than this. This is just, you know, like I said, a cold-blooded, brutal, racist hate crime murder.
Yeah, nothing to do with George Floyd, nothing to do with race relations, nothing to do with anything. Just, hey, man, please leave our tent. You know you're supposed to be over in your school's tent. Why are you over in ours? Why'd you bring a knife into our tent? Why'd you stab our team captain 15 times? You know what I mean? It just doesn't add up. No jury can do this. And, yeah, of course, the defense attorney said it was an all-white jury when it wasn't. There were many Hispanics and other people of different ethnic origins, Asian, whatnot. And, you know, so just out there lying to the public about the jury makeup when anybody can look at the jury and say, yeah, you know, it was definitely a mixed race jury. So I don't know, man. It just goes to show that these people will lie about anything, even the most obvious, you know, facts that are not in dispute, that nobody is questioning, and you still lie about it, right? They lied about so much of this stuff in the world today. And, you know, try to drum up hatred, try to drum up, you know, this division that didn't exist, quite frankly, in this country 25, 30 years ago. It wasn't the way it is today.
Yeah.
I mean, it existed, but, we had Ebony and Ivory. We had, Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and, half my favorite musicians and, actors and whatever. We're all black, black, black. I don't see it.
Well, we know that there's actually players that are involved. I would say the media, for starters, to stoke the division. And now we know that, well, at least allegedly, based on very strong evidence, or it wouldn't be, turned over to the DOJ, of the Southern Poverty Law Center, literally stoking racist division and basically funding and creating and manufacturing hate groups. I mean, just complete and total insanity. But this is what we've been saying. And now we're being vindicated time and time again, because we have to understand. And that's why we really want to wake up the Democrats, because they're the ones that are buying the lies more than anybody. They actually believe the fake news, which has a 6 or 8% approval rating. Nobody trusts them anymore. No one's watching any of their shows. I mean, PewDiePie, or whatever his name is, gets more views than the fake news does.
PewDiePie. Yeah, he does. Mr. Beast is outperforming all of them, and it's crazy. But you mentioned the SPLC. They've been testifying in Congress the last few days, and it's pretty shocking, man. These people have no, they're caught red-handed, man, for some $1 million that they paid out to neo-Nazis, to actual KKK members, to help them recruit, right? That whole thing in Charlotte, they paid for those groups to be there. The ones that Jews will not replace us, right? They fabricated that. Have you ever seen in your life at any other point in the United States people walk around with tiki torches saying Jews will not replace us? Have you ever seen that anywhere?
I mean, we've known this, but there's a lot of people that just haven't, They've been using these type of tactics to control the masses for decades, man. And probably even before that. I mean, we're talking, back in ancient times as well. They've done these kinds of tricks. And, before they could control the narrative because there was only 3 networks. But now, because everybody has a voice, that's why they want to censor. That's why they want to control the narrative, because they can't keep telling their lies and expecting the people to believe it anymore, because we now have more of the story as what's his name would say, and now for the rest of the story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Paul Harvey. The testimony, though, it was really funny. I saw one clip where they were asking him about Graham Plantner. Is that his name, up in Maine? The guy that just won the nomination for the Senate race?
Yeah.
They were asking him about his tattoo. And the guy's like, I just don't know much about tattoos. I can't comment on that. There's nothing really there, I don't think, and no idea. And he's like, dude, it's a Mein Kampf tattoo or whatever it is. It's a Teutonkampf or whatever they call it. You're not familiar with that? He's like, no. He's like, well, let me explain it to you. It's part of the Nazi brigade. And, he's had this on his chest for 20 years. Do you find that concerning at all? I can't comment on that at all. I don't know the details. Right. Okay, let's go to J.D. Vance. No, it was Pete Hegseth who had the Iron Cross or something. One of those, like the Jerusalem Cross, I think it is.
Yep.
Which they, immediately were all over as a Nazi tattoo, as white supremacy and all that stuff, when it's really just a Christian religious thing. I don't know. You might know more about it than I do.
Well, I know this, man. I know that the Trump administration is going to be cracking down on fraud. I mean, I just heard a speech from J.D. Vance saying that, they've kind of formed an anti-fraud committee or what have you, something to that degree. And they're going to look into all this stuff in Minneapolis, but they're not going to rush like the left does, and just start charging people without really any real evidence, without dotting their I's and crossing their T's. He said, we're going to do this methodically, and we're going to, prosecute if the evidence is there. There's no strong evidence there, we're not going to prosecute. But they're taking fraud seriously. And we need to, man, because it's systemic. It is systemic in our nation. And it is why we have a slew of problems right now.
Yeah, I've actually got that clip right here. This is from Fox News, and it's J.D. Vance talking about Tim Walz.
Cool.
That sounds like a crime to me. Is that a crime?
Well, I'm going to let the law determine what's a crime and what's not. We're certainly going to investigate this, Jesse. And I guess now I can make a bit of breaking news because I left the White House to come here to do this interview with you. And before I did, we actually referred this particular case to the Department of Justice for full criminal investigation. We are not going to do what the Biden administration did and make judgments of the law before all the facts are in. But here's what's particularly troubling about this to me is Jesse, you had people within Governor Walz's office who were saying, you know what, this looks like fraud. It looks like these Somalian illegal immigrants are doing something that's very shady. And then you had people who shut them down, who shut these whistleblowers down and said, you know, you're a racist or you're a xenophobe for asking questions about where taxpayer money is going. What that means to me, Jesse, is that clearly people weren't taking fraud seriously. Whether it rises to the level of a criminal violation, we're going to investigate it. And of course, if it does rise to that level, we're going to prosecute it. We have to.
Yeah, it's so offensive because some of these guys are riding around in Bentleys and Maseratis. And the American taxpayer, you got to take it from me, they are livid about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's, you know, you're driving around a Bentley that was intended to be food for kids, right?
Yeah, it's
how big of a scumbag do you have to be to steal money from little kids to drive around in a Bentley?
It's so low.
You know?
It is so low. It's not even comprehensible. It's so low, man. I mean, these are real slime bags.
To the largest degree. But I'll tell you what, though, they, you know, to be fair, we talked earlier about cultures and whatnot, right? You come over here, you're part of the Somali community. You might know a lot of these people from Somalia, and, you know, you're all over here in America now, and it's us versus them. Get that money. Get that green. This is America, the land of opportunity. Get the money. Find out one way or another, come whatever you do, get it. And that's what they did. They got the money. They figured out a way to break the system, and they spread that information around the community. You know what I mean? Hey, I just made, $50,000 in the last month. You want in on it? Of course I want in on it. And boom. You know what I mean? Now they're looking at it, they're not stealing from little kids. They're just stealing from the American taxpayers, right? All the rich, fat Americans who have way more than they need. That's who you're stealing from. You're not stealing from kids. That's not how they look at it. This is them getting their reparations almost, you know? It's due to them in a way. I bet they look at it like it's just, it's due, like they owe us. My country would be beautiful if not for America. Well, no, your country's not going to be beautiful if not for America. Sorry. If you guys rip everyone off here and bring back billions of dollars, your country's still going to suck.
I think it's going to be interesting to find out exactly what Walz knew. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going to be interesting. Did he know more than he has allegedly said, because he did say, well, it does appear there's corruption going on, but how much did he know? And did he play a role? Was he a part of it? I think we're going to find. I really do think we're going to find out. And look, I'm not a Q person whatsoever, but I have heard Q people say this quote, and I have to admit, I think it might be true. And they say, you have to show the people first. In other words, all the dirt and all the corruption and all the scandals have to be kind of exposed to the public first before we start getting like some serious arrest indictments and convictions. Now, I'm not saying I agree with Q. I'm saying that particular comment makes sense to me. That if you did have a strategy, you would want to expose it to the public. You'd want to show it to them first because you don't want people, you don't want to have civil unrest out on the streets because people think that you're doing something dictatorial or authoritarian based on, a lie. So they need to see it so that they'll be like, well, hey, it does look like this kind of crime has been going on, that Trump was right. He's been right all along.
Yeah. And here I've got another clip from Fox. They're saying the House Oversight Committee released their investigative report saying that both Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and AG Keith Ellison knew about the fraud and refused to do anything about it. Folks, they're going to go down. Let's listen to the clip.
COVID money that was supposed to feed children that couldn't afford food, and other children that had different illnesses that were supposed to get this money. And instead, you have individuals who live in that community that stole it and bought big houses and cars and things like that, taxpayer dollars. So a House Congressional Oversight Report has just come out today. It's 205 pages, and it says that Minnesota's top officials, like the governor, Tim Walz, and the AG, Keith Ellison, they were aware of the fraud as early as 2020, but they still allowed the payments to go out to the fraudsters. And they say because, according to the report, the reason they did, concerns of potential racial discrimination claims, because many of the defendants are from the Somali immigrant community.
So this is woke gone wrong again. You got people that are committing criminal acts, taking money from taxpayers. Many of these people immigrated to the country. Some of them are not even citizens of the country. And they're
using this to get rich. It's disgusting. And I'll tell you what, it's a one-way ticket back to Somalia with nothing in your pocket. I want both your front pockets folded out so I can see they're dead empty, and then you can get on the plane. You know, like, you take nothing with you. If you siphoned whatever off into Geneva or whatever, good on you. More power to you. We're still going to try to find it, track it down, and get it back. But you get nothing. You leave the country. You're not welcome here anymore. If you're doing this kind of scumbaggery in your first 5 years of being a citizen here, you're not a citizen. You're not. And no.
Scumbaggery. I think that's the word. It really is. And look, I mean, if what they're saying is true about Walz, he's going to be doing more than just stepping down as the governor. He might be stepping into a prison cell.
Mm-hmm. And Keith Ellison, too. I couldn't see it happen to a better person. You know, that guy's just been a vile bag of hatred for everything conservative for as long as he's been around. I mean, he was very high level in the Obama administration before he went to the AG of Minnesota. And, you know, even in those years, I remember him as being one of the most divisive and just nasty people out there, you know. And he was the attorney general, you know. So he's somebody that has really made his bed and needs to lie in it now, and needs to understand that, yeah, you turned a blind eye to hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, and you need to be held accountable as if you were involved, because you pretty much were involved. We can all agree that if you'd have done your job, this wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Tim Walz, jail cell. I believe it's going to happen. And you know, that smug SOB ran for president.
Yeah.
Knowing all this stuff, knowing what he had done. And he still ran for vice president. And sat up there with a straight face and said, I'm the good guy. Donald Trump's a scumbag. I want to take him behind the gym and beat him up. You know?
It's just shocking to me, too, that they keep doing this stuff. You know? Like, think about all the stuff they've done in the past. And this does go back a ways, this particular, you know, thing that's happening in Minneapolis. It goes back a few years, but they kept doing it even after Trump became the president, thinking they could just do whatever they want to do. Like Biden was the president, and he'd turn the other way and look the other way. So the sheer arrogance and narcissism of these people that, you know, it's all these powers that should not be. They truly, truly believe they are above the law and they can do whatever they want and get away with it. And sort of along those lines, I heard something that Gavin Newsom said. It was a while back, but they keep playing it over and over again. He's like, well, if we do lose or something like that, we do have that emergency break the glass situation. What exactly is the emergency break the glass situation? Doesn't sound too up and up to me.
Yeah, and we're getting up to the end of the first hour here, so we'll dive into that in great detail, trust me, in the next hour. What's going on in California is insane.
Yeah.
And they told you it's coming. Like you just said, Gavin Newsom said, we've got to break glass in case of emergency strategy. And many people know about it. And, you know, we're not going to let it happen where they have two Republicans running against each other. That's specifically what he was talking about. But they done broke the glass because they didn't want Spencer Pratt anywhere near the actual, you know, runoff. And I got some theories on that as well, about how what he should do going forward. But like I say, we'll save those for the second hour. Folks, this is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. We are on every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 3 o'clock on the Pacific time. And we're also on every Sunday night for 2 hours as well at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific, right here on this channel. So don't change the dial. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we're on a radio break.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do it back then, but I felt like you did it enough that if I did it again, it'd be too much. So I'm saving it for the break. Kia-sama! My echo. I got no echo. Check. Oh, well. The echo is gone. Yeah, dude, this is a big week. A lot of stuff happening, man. And it's exactly like I said 5 weeks ago. I said, I made a big thing about it. I said the two worlds are about to collide, baby. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. And what's going on in the Middle East?
I don't know, war.
With Iran?
Again? Okay.
They bombed
It's
again.
open, it's closed. All right.
Yeah, they bombed again, but it was in response to stuff that Iran did.
Iran, or was it something that Israel,
I don't think there's any
instigated?
proof. I don't think there's any proof of a false flag, but I mean, I'm always open to that possibility and would want to see some evidence for that because I know that America has done it, Israel's done it, Germany's done it, Canada's done it. They all do it. They all do false flags, man.
I think the longer this goes, the more Bibi is in the doghouse with us.
Yeah, I think it's exposing Netanyahu.
Yeah,
100%. And Trump griped him out last week.
Oh yeah, he was not happy.
Said he was effing crazy, and the only reason he's not in prison is because of him. That's what he told.
I believe
So,
that. All right, let's get ready to switch over to the next room. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so we'll catch you guys there. Always like to round them up and then cut them off. But anyways, we'll be right back with more Censorship Sucks for the second hour. Let me get them up and going. There we go. Howdy, you back?
Yeah.
Do we have time? I'm gonna get some more tea.
Yeah, go for it.
All right,
We
man.
got
cool.
about 5-6 minutes.
Let's see here. Where am I going? There, and there.
There. Where? Okay. Trying to play GeoGuessr with you here, and I'm not faring too well right now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet. I will be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Make sure you
Just
give.
stare down me if I don't make
I
should make it.
Yeah, no problem. Just make sure you pet Blue for us, and give her some treats. She's been a good dog tonight. Right, Barry?
Absolutely,
Okay.
man.
See?
treat the dog good.
That's
right.
Treat her
I love
good.
animals, man. I got to admit, and maybe it's just because things are so bad at times. I like seeing some of the real happy pet videos. Now, I know some of them are now AI, which I can usually tell, so I don't watch those. Real pet videos that are kind of cute. I mean, it warms the heart a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it feels good to kind of watch that and escape, and it's a healthy escape.
I watched this one where the pit bull and a chihuahua were watching a horror movie, and
you were terrified.
Yeah, and they were terrified, and the TV and the owner turned the TV off, and it scared the dogs even more. It's like, and the big dog jumped over the little one.
Oh man!
And onto the sofa was hiding. It was like the
big one was more scared than the little one, right?
Yeah. The big dog was more afraid than the little dog, and the little dog just kind of went over and was looking around the edge of the couch because it was pretty close to the couch, anyways. But it, jumped back over there to the side and was kind of peeking around the corner. Yeah. I think that one's a pretty old one, though, but it's still a good one.
Yeah.
I like the one. I also like to watch like the little shorts, like Mexican Word of the Day and things like that. Those are pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some good ones, man.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, even animals that you would never think would have much personality. They do. I even saw, I'm not saying I buy it, but they certainly look at those little spiders, the jumping spiders, because people have them as pets. I don't know if you know that or not. And they look real happy, and they jump on to their the pet owner's finger, and then they'll jump off of it, and they're like playing with their owner, or at least it looks that way. And then you look at this little spider's face up close, man, and it just looks so happy, and it's just like I just never thought a spider would be anything animated, whether or not it's experiencing something. I don't know, its brain is probably too small, but who knows, right?
You never know what goes through another living thing's mind.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yep. So I have a respect not for the poisonous ones, but for that spider. I think it's kind of cool that
all spiders are poisonous, just to let you know.
Even that one?
All spiders are poisonous. It's just the degree of poison and the types of poison.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect it wouldn't affect the person. If they bit, it might cause a mosquito bite or something.
Yeah, because a black widow might be small. It's more deadly. It's deadlier than a huge tarantula,
Oh yeah.
So, it's not the size, it's the type of toxin.
Yeah, some of the things in the water in the ocean that look like they would be friendly, like they have these really bright colors and things.
Yeah. That's a warning,
It's
that's
like
a warning.
Yeah, don't touch
It's like
that.
liberal women with purple hair.
Yeah.
That's a warning.
It is a warning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a warning.
I saw this. I saw this one. This one meme. It was really funny. I thought, it's probably been out a long time or off and on. It goes, I just got a new girlfriend. I'm glad she's a weather girl because I know that, we know that she's going to be wrong at least 80% of the time, and she can't say nothing about it.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
I'm like, okay. We're under 30 seconds, by the way.
Awesome. Second hour, here we come.
That's right.
It's going pretty fast so far.
And here it comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're live for the second hour. Right now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition. With me tonight, we got Bullhorn Barry in the house. Barry, I just confirmed we're going to have Yotivation Nation in this Sunday. I'm really psyched about that. It's been a while since we've had her on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's phenomenal.
I'll tell you, man, if you're in the mood, stop in for a little bit and say hi.
I might if I get time. It's been really crushed. I've been crushed for time. A lot of stuff happening, but you know how it goes. We have seasons like that where we have more free time than others, and right now is not one of them.
Here's a clip from The View. We like to play these because it's just comedy gold. Okay, let's play some comedy gold from The View, talking about morality here, the Democrats.
Republicans at this point can ask us to take the moral high ground. There you go. That is over at this point. That is over. It's a troll. I am sorry. Democrats have always fallen in love, and Republicans have always fallen in line. It's time for Democrats to stop that nonsense, put emotions on the side. Let's be strategic. Let's get some power. Yes. Let's take over the Senate. Let's take over the House, and let's right the ship. Let's get our country.
I think she's referring to Graham Plantner here and saying, we just need to win. We don't care who it is. We just need to win.
Yeah. Lie, cheat, steal, whatever. We just got to win.
Mm-hmm. And remember, as George Costanza once said, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Well,
it's not a lie.
You do
you believe it.
Oprah said that. I'm not Oprah. Golly, Whoopi said the truth this week. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely shocking that she would actually defend Trump, but she did.
Over the most trivial thing in the world, the debate over whether or not Trump was a Knicks fan.
Yeah, and that he caused them to lose because, he ruined their mojo and he shouldn't be there, when the fact of the matter is he's always been a New York Knicks fan.
Yeah, I saw some super clip of all the times through the years that they featured him in their broadcasts. And one time they even had him working a camera, for ABC or whatever. Yeah, he's been there since like the 70s, 80s, folks. He's a Knicks fan, right? He lives about, 2 blocks away from Madison Square Garden. And I'm sure he's had season tickets forever because, well, of course you have season tickets to everything if you're Donald Trump. I mean, what New York sport wouldn't you have season tickets to?
Right.
And so, you're a billionaire. You've got everything.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to spend $1 billion?
Pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spend it somewhere.
You pretty much have to have season tickets to everything.
Yeah. You got to have some expensive habits.
Mm-hmm. Golf, cigars, women.
Yeah, because divorce gets you every time, man.
Yeah. Well, Trump always, liked the supermodels. He was always into the supermodels.
Yeah, he's had this. Melania is his third wife, right?
I think second. I know of one other one.
Melania Marbles. What was
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maples, Marla Maples or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his other wife, she recently died.
Okay. And then you got Melania there.
Yeah. But it's funny how, people are losing their mind over Trump going to the game. It just makes absolutely zero sense. I mean, Stephen Smith, the ESPN guy, completely melting down and just saying stuff that just sounds foolish, And then the media came out in the mainstream media when it was clearly something that Stephen Smith started, and he was bashing Trump nonstop in a religious fashion continually. And somebody asked Trump about it and he responded. And all of a sudden the media makes it about Trump attacking Stephen. No, he was just responding to the insanity. And it's amazing how they flip the script, And I just want Democrats to put on their thinking caps and be honest. When you hear the news, go beyond the surface and see the truth. Go a few more layers and don't keep spreading the lies. Okay? Don't do that anymore because it's actually hurting you.
Yeah. And, they just hate Donald Trump. They hate everything he does, which is why it's glorious to see the insanity that's coming out of the fact that Donald Trump is really cleaning up Washington, D.C. I mean, it's a changed city. It is, when he came into office, it was a city that was sort of an embarrassment to the nation. You know what I mean? It was our capital, but I'm sure, there were some nice spots to it. If you stick to the tourist routes during the day, you're fine. But, you veer off any of that, especially at night, and it's a whole nother world. And he's cleaned it up, man. Have you seen Columbus Circle? It used to just be all about hatred of Israel, F Israel, and now it's beautiful. Now it's clean and brilliant. And, they didn't even put water in the fountain for years. How do you not have water in the fountain? How tough is that to make your water fountain go gurgle, gurgle? You know what I'm saying? How hard is that? It's the U.S. government, for crying out loud. You can't make a water fountain work. You can't get a pressure washer out there once a month or whatever and clean the thing up.
I honestly don't think any of these kind of things are their priority. They want everything to kind of look collapsed and decayed. It's all part of the demoralization. And it's just not a priority of theirs. And look at, we can even talk about Obama's Library of Congress, not library, his presidential library. It looks like Opticon prison, dude. It's the most hideous thing you've ever seen. And I don't care how you try to cut it or slice it. It's ugly, okay? But it's that way by design. But when Trump has his, I guarantee you it ain't going to be ugly. It's going to be top notch. And we should have things being top notch. Our airports in many places don't look real well when you compare it to other nations. Our infrastructure, our highways, a lot of places, the bridges need to be replaced. I mean, this is something that Trump really wants to do, and he's trying to do it, but they sabotage him because they want to keep us down. They don't want us to be elevated. Think about it. If we actually get elevated in every single possible way, nobody can control us at that point because you got to be basically desperate to be controlled.
Yeah. Yeah. And they just want you demoralized, and what he's doing, you go to the Capitol and you see the reflecting pond and it's full of seaweeds and algae and it's kind of smells and it's sort of gross. And you think, okay, well, I always thought that'd be really, amazing to see in life, but it wasn't really much of anything. It was just kind of gross. Now you go to the thing and it's crystal clean, sparkling blue water with a perfect reflection, like we've never seen. And, these reflections, these images we're going to start seeing over the next few days are images we've never seen as a country. This beautiful, crystal pristine reflecting pond with the Washington Monument in the background, perfectly reflected like a mirror onto it. And then the fireworks in the background that'll, of course, happen during the 4th of July. Really, truly amazing stuff that people can go now to our Capitol and just feel like it's the hub, the heart of a gigantic, the most powerful, wealthiest nation in the world. They don't get that now. But we can soon start taking pride in that city. I've never looked at Washington, D.C. with pride. You know what I mean? Imagine being able to do that.
Yeah, that's such a good point, man. The left and the globalists don't want us taking pride in America. They don't want us loving America because they want us hating America. Think about it, dude. They're going to lose their marbles on July 4th. Trust me. They're going to melt down because they're going to say, just like the Black Crow said, I don't see anything about America to be proud of. Right now.
Yeah.
They said. And of course, half of their people left, half of their fans left because we love America, man. And even if you're disappointed in some of the things America's doing, you still love America because you love the idea of America. It's like anybody that would, kneel before the flag, you hate America because that flag didn't do anything wrong. That flag represents everything about justice equality, prosperity, freedom, you name it, all the good, that's what it represents. Now, have we failed the flag? Yes. But you don't dishonor the flag because the flag did not commit any crime. It is the hope that we have. And so we got to respect it.
Yeah, and it's how do you put it?
Fired up, and I'm getting fired up because all these people that kneel before the flag, man, that is wrong, and there is no excuse, no good excuse for that.
And America has good points and bad points. It has its ups and downs. It has, the left and right and the pendulum political pendulum that keeps swinging back and forth and back and forth. And, folks, if you don't like Donald Trump, just realize that the pendulum has never swung this far left in American history. We are the most progressive country we've ever been. When you think about the tolerance of, all the rights and tolerance for homosexuals to, even trans, you know what I mean? There's complete acceptance for the most part with most people you run into, trans and whatnot. And that, it's, you may not pick it for yourself, but you don't really care if someone else wants to live that life. I mean, I sure don't, right? Go for it, right? Have fun. It's your life. Live it to your heart's content, sweetheart. Okay. But, we're just against sort of the kids getting sucked into that because kids aren't trans. Kids are just confused. Maybe some of them, do figure it out young, but I'll tell you what, you can't get a tattoo. You can't start smoking at 13, and you can't start cutting off body parts at 13 because you think you might be born in the wrong body. I'm sorry. You're way too young for that. Once you're old enough to afford to do it on your own, go for it.
I mean, the left just doesn't make any sense. Maybe they just hate everything that MAGA stands for and Trump stands for. Did you see the woman that was at the Democrat at the reflecting pool, and she was reflecting on the reflecting pool, saying how beautiful it was, and it was great, and how it was making everything more pleasant, and then she ended it with, and I hate that.
Yeah. I hate that. I love it.
Trump did something good. I mean, these people are out of their mind. They've been brainwashed to such a level that it's even hard to grasp your mind around it, man. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we see all the time. It's systemic among a lot of people on the radical far left. They just can't see Trump succeeding at anything because they just hate him. And I think they hate America as well, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's just get out of his way. Look at the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center, Trump has washed his hands of it. He said, screw it. I'm done. I'm done. If Congress wants to do it, they can try, but they'll fail. And this won't happen ever. No other president will touch this place because they don't know how. He would have made that facility brilliant. One of the top-notch, best theaters in the world, or event centers, or whatever you want to call it, in the world. And they won't let him.
Yep, that's what they fear. Yeah, they don't want him to be successful in any shape, fashion, form, or way.
Mm-hmm. And that's ridiculous. I mean, if you're in the arts community, you should know the current state of the Kennedy Center. You should be aware of it because you've been there, and understand that it is in desperate need of renovation. So why fight it? Does it matter who does it? And folks, this is what I get back to when we talk about the 4th of July, is that this pendulum swings back and forth. And as far to the right you think Donald Trump is, the country has never been this far left. The country has never been this accepting and progressive as it is today. And you can just look at the things we put up with to understand how accepting and accommodating we are as a nation, right? You want to tear down half your city? Hey, I'll take a knee and get behind you on that one, right? But just because you don't like the current administration doesn't mean you hate the country. It doesn't mean you can't celebrate and love the United States of America on her 250th anniversary. It is imperative that we all just try to remind people that it's not about Trump, man. It's about America and the American experience and how blessed it has been for even the most unfortunate among us. The lives that they have today in America are far, far better than the lives that they would have if they'd never stepped foot on this continent. The poorest among us are living better lives today than so many people in so many different countries. Look at India again. 99% of the population of India lives a life there that they would dream of being in the bottom 1% of Americans on American soil, with air conditioning, with a car, with 2 TVs, 3 TVs. I got one for my bathroom too, so I can watch it when I'm in the tub, right? Microwaves, food, McDonald's, all that good stuff right at your doorstep. And, heck, the government even pays you if you can't make your way. That is a beautiful, wonderful life to 90% of this planet that can't dream of having those types of things. Modern, water, toilets. People still poo in the woods or in buckets or whatever, outhouses. I mean, it's staggering what a wonderful prosperity we have enjoyed here in the United States of America. And so, folks, just remember that. You can think it's tough and it's brutal here for whoever, but it's really not. You know what I mean? It's really not. If you think gays have no rights in the United States, try going to the Middle East and seeing how that works for you. You know what I mean? Even in parts of Europe, big swaths of Europe, you're way better off in the United States than you would be over there. So love America, come to the table, bring that spirit, bring the love, and celebrate this country like you never have over the next month, over the next 2 months, over the next year, the course of 2026. Celebrate it. It's our 250th anniversary, the biquincennial I always forget how they word it.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
250 years is good enough.
Yeah, it is. Quintessential. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that, Barry. I don't know. It's just, if we can't bring together people now to really open their eyes, and they say, well, I hate America and America is worse and it's a colonizing country and this and that. Well, is it though? Is it really that bad? You just had 4 years of Joe Biden, your guy, in office. He did all his stuff he wanted to do, In 4 years or another 2.5 years, you get another shot at the ring. If you win, your crazy, wacko, far-left nut job will be in place, and they'll be able to do all the crazy, lefto, wacko, nut job stuff that they do. And everyone on the right will be complaining. And everyone on the left will be complaining, too, because that's what they do. He's not going far enough. He's not progressive enough. He's just another Nazi. Yeah, AOC is a Nazi. Gotcha.
Well, can I ask you a question to sort of stress a point? I want to ask you a question, and I think this sort of encapsulates kind of how the left is and how we differ from the left. Now, when Joe Biden was the president, if he had decided, I'm not going to be a lawless president and I'm going to actually secure the borders, do you think that you and I would have talked about that on the radio and said how that was a good thing?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Just like I am critical of Trump when he does things that some of his crypto scams, I was like, come on, dude, you're way above this. His deficit, the money that we're spending on the deficit, he hasn't even tried to cut down spending. He hasn't even tried. I mean, the Doge thing, great. It looked good on the surface, but it accomplished absolutely nothing. Elon Musk just pissed away 6 months of his life, if you ask me. You know what I mean? What did we really see of that? Where's the deficit going down? Where's the spending going down? Where's the savings we got from all that stuff? There's a ton of things that Trump has done that I'm not a big fan of. I'm starting to really kind of go against him in this whole Iran thing. That's, I'm losing my patience with it. It's been, way longer than the 2 weeks he said it would take, and I don't see an out. I don't even know what the out is. I don't even know what our objective is over there at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to love my country, and I'm going to give credit to, where it's due. Bill Clinton, I praised him for, working with Newt Gingrich to, bring the, what do they call it? The contract with America, I think it was, where they balanced the budget. He actually balanced the budget. Hats off to him. Bill Clinton accomplished something that no president in modern time has been able to do. Great on him. I didn't like a lot of the things he did, and I thought he was pretty sleazy.
Right.
But hey, he's the ladies' man. You know what I mean? He's there by the grace of God goes me. If I was the president and I had a 20-year-old intern who was all over me, would I take advantage? I don't know.
Except for the Juanita Broderick thing and some of the rape accusations. Those aren't good, man. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's different level.
Yeah. So let's not forget that's what I'm saying. He's not he's not kind of a saint when it comes to. He's not just a womanizer. Allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the Monica Lewinsky thing and as independent, but it's a bigger pattern. And she got lucky that she was willing to accommodate him, I guess, because she didn't have to see his wrath. Allegedly.
Yeah, well, if you listen to Juanita Broderick's testimony, it's pretty brutal, and I think there's others as well, and maybe they settled out of court, and we don't know all the details. I can't remember all from back then, but anyway, yeah, he's no saint.
Nope. And on that note, let's go to break, folks. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we're on radio break.
All right.
Very good, man. Yeah. I think you answered that question quite well, and it made my point quite well.
Yeah. Exactly. If Joe Biden did something well, I would,
It's just that he didn't do anything. I don't think he did anything, but that's a whole other story, right?
He could have slept well.
He vacationed well. He helped the globalists out well. He helped the New World Order out well. He did a lot of good things as far as that is concerned. But that's not good.
Nope.
We're almost done, folks. Another 30 minutes or less, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been an interesting week of stuff happening, man. It's all starting to come to a head again, and I sensed it about 5 weeks ago, man. I could tell it was just, we're headed towards that, man. And I think that there's going to be a collision. You know what I mean? Like, this is just like, these are the tremors. These are tremors. Yeah. This isn't the earthquake. This isn't the collision. This, and it's weird too, because there's all these weird things happening in the world as far as explosions people are hearing. Have you heard about that? That's actually being reported in the mainstream media. People are hearing explosions go off. And of course, the official narrative a lot of times is, oh, that was a meteor that, came into the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But that can't explain all of it. So there's weird stuff happening in our skies, explosions. They're hearing metal scraping sounds, trumpet sounds, and this is all being reported in the mainstream media. And it's been reported for years, but it's getting an uptick again. And so it's almost like it's mirroring the real world. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's the way that God designed it to be, or if it's just a coincidence. But it's happening nonetheless.
Yeah. It's all coming together, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like warning. It's like maybe the bad guys are not getting it, though. I think they're warning signs, but the bad guys are like, nah, I'm going to double down, man. We're just going to keep being corrupt. We're just going to keep doing everything we've always done, and we're going to keep getting away with it. But I'm not so sure if they're going to keep getting away with it, man. I think that the awakening is becoming so large, even if Trump didn't want to do it, and even if, the decent people in power didn't want to do anything about it, they're going to have to. Their hand is going to be forced, because we are going to put the pressure on them to do the right thing. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm just hoping and praying that there isn't another, catastrophic event like the shamdemic. The cyber pandemic seems to be the top thing right now, because they've already laid out the path for us to believe it, with Anthropic releasing that software that can hack anything. And they're already setting the stage for a cyber pandemic and for people to accept it. Trust me, man. And then with these data centers, once they get all the power, they're going to merge. You watch. The idea of all of these different AIs, they're going to merge into one conglomerate. That's their end game. That's how I foresee it anyway. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that's because each AI is going to have their specialty, and they're going to be like, why are we working against each other? Let's just all come together. We'll all rule and reign together, and we'll just create one giant, beast AI. And that's how they always do stuff. Yikes. They merge.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Not unless they're put in a sandbox. Then they
To
fight
what?
each other.
Well, that could happen. You know, they definitely. I mean, they definitely want to fight over the
30
power.
seconds, guys.
But like,
Yeah.
whoever gets the AI tech, it will be the masters of the universe. And maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're going to have to share that power because there'd be too much infighting.
Oh, I'm just thinking about the hamburger I'm going to make after we're done. I might even do it over a fire.
Why not, man?
Here's
Go
your
for it.
countdown, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for June 10th, 2026. And, we talked earlier about the SPLC and the deep doo-doo they're in. But Act Blue as well was testifying before Congress today. Here is a clip from C-SPAN of Miss Wallace Jones, or is it Miss Jones? I'm not sure. Let's hear what she has to say to clarify her name.
I do have a series of questions for you, but I want to make sure I'm respectful. Is it Miss Jones or Miss Wallace Jones?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Didn't expect that one, but I think I see where this is going.
Now, Act Blue is the fundraising machine for the left. Sorry. I hate autoplay. I don't know why they pick things with autoplay. And anyway, Act Blue is the fundraising mechanism for the left. Any donations that are made from smaller, $10, $20, $30, if you wanted to act to support someone in the Democratic Party, you would probably end up going through Act Blue in one way or another. And they have been caught red-handed doing all kinds of insane things that just look fraudulent as can be on the surface. I mean, we're talking about, some people make a donation once and then all of a sudden they make like 5-10 donations a day for the next 2 years. And James O'Keefe, again, out on the street, approached some of these ladies and said, hey, you've made 20,000 donations to so-and-so via Act Blue. Are you just that big of a supporter, or is there anything, and they're standing there going, I made how many? I mean, you're telling me I made 20,000 donations to so-and-so for Senate? Like, no. Yeah, it totals $375,000. Have you donated $375,000 to this person's campaign? And they're like, no. $375,000 over 2 years? Are you kidding me? Do I look like I have that kind of money?
Yeah.
And so these guys have been caught red-handed time and time again. I remember back in Barack Obama when he was running for re-election, they were caught not requiring the CRV code or whatever it is on the back of your credit card to verify it's an authentic, transaction.
Right.
They could get away with not accepting that. So anybody who went and bought a little scratch-off card at Walmart, those scratch-off visas, you could put $50 on that and then donate it to Act Blue, and then they would put it under someone's name or whatever, and poof, you just brought money in from outside the system to help pay for someone's campaign. Illegal, illicit money. And they're the masters at it. They've been doing it for decades now. They know every angle. They've been milking this machine to a degree that you've seen the videos. It's disgusting what they do. And it's finally time, maybe, that they're going to start paying the piper here,
Absolutely. And they know a shift has occurred, and that's why they've doubled down with cheating, stealing, lying. I mean, they really don't have any path to victory other than shenanigans. And so, therefore, that's the hand they have to play. And we should expect that to continue until we really get significant arrest indictments and convictions, and we send the message that lawlessness will not be tolerated. And remember, under the Biden administration, they had all these phrases that they considered to be radical, and these people could be white supremacists or a terrorist or something like that. And one of the phrases was, if you hear somebody use the phrase, the rule of law, that's a bad thing. So demonizing, healthy, good phrases that make America great are now seen by the left and the globalists as something really, really bad. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. But for this lady, the CEO of Act Blue, to take the fifth when he asked her what name she'd like to be called.
What choice do they have? I mean, they don't want to speak if they know they're going to be busted, man. Just like they were asking the one guy from the Southern Poverty Law Center, and he was not too smart because he was answering questions. And the lady said, hey, you are under oath. Don't forget that, because we can come back. Perjury, okay? So you better be telling the truth, she was telling him. Because he was saying, we do not fund white supremacy groups or Nazis or whatever. And he reiterated that over and over again. And she said, hey, you are under oath. But maybe they think like Fauci. Fauci lied under oath and nothing's happened to him yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's going on. And then California, man, let's get to that finally. Election night. Spencer Pratt had this thing in the bag, right? In the bag. And Dave, in 1 week, a week and a day now, 8 days of counting undercover in the secret basements and tribunals or wherever they do these things.
Yeah.
They've managed to come up with enough votes to kick him out of second place. And it seems like they're done. Like as soon as they got Rahman over the line ahead of Spencer Pratt, they're like, okay, we're done now. Let's just stop counting. She won. Yay. And she got something like 40% of all the votes that came in after Election Day, which is ridiculous. She had 20% during, actual Election Day. And then it went up to 37% during post-election.
Mm-hmm.
So a 17-point jump, almost 100% jump in the rate of votes for her came in after Election Day.
And Spencer,
how is that possible?
None with these coming in. Like statistically, the odds are just not there. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's an astronomical statistic. And I think that the DOJ, the Trump administration is already on all this stuff, man. I think they know a lot. And they're just not saying anything. Mm-hmm. They just wanted to let it happen so that then people can be held accountable. We'll see. I mean, I know that's a lot of people are tired of hearing that kind of rhetoric, but I'm just giving you my gut feeling. I think that they know exactly how the cheating's being done, what they're doing, and they probably already have whistleblowers that have come out, because we've already had whistleblowers come out before, and people have gone to jail. So we'll see.
Yeah. Now, if I'm Spencer Pratt, I'm not done counting, right? No. We're not even close to being done counting. I would cure all those ballots. I would go out and, do everything the left is doing. I would just get an army of people together. If you voted for me and you're pissed off about what's happening, please meet me at my campaign headquarters tomorrow. We're going to go down to City Hall and we're going to cure the ballots. We're going to go out and find the ballots to win, because that's what the left does. We're just going to play their game. Right. And if they don't like it, well, guess what? You made the rules, folks. I would go out there and I would fight this thing. And then if you can't get on the ballot, you write in. Go run as a write-in, because all Spencer Pratt has to do is put out 1 or 2 good memes every day. Right. And he wins.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, one lady that's in third place, she conceded that she had lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
the lady, she conceded on election night that she'd lost. And here she is.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, all these people that just say, well, this is how California is. It's what they do. It's legal because they made the laws to make it legal. Okay, fine. Break it. Break the system. Go out and take advantage of those same laws like they do. Just do it bigger, better, and harder. Get Trump to throw $1 million or $1 billion, whatever it takes, at this election out of pocket, and let's go. It's Spencer Pratt cannot drop out. He needs to stay in this election until Election Day in November. And he needs to just inundate Bass and ramen with memes about them cheating, memes about them sucking, memes about them being terrible leaders, memes about them living in the squalor that they forced everyone else in LA to live in. If he does that for the next 5 months, his support will be through the roof. That's why they didn't want a one-on-one race with Bass and him.
Yeah.
Because she has no idea how to counter the memes. She has no idea.
Yeah. That's a sad situation, man. What's going on? I don't know what to say. I mean, I think it's going to be exposed, and I think it already has been. I think even Democrats realize. Some of them actually think it's probably a great thing. Well, we got to steal the elections. We can't let the right win. I mean, that's really their a lot of their mentality. They don't have a problem with cheating, which is really bad because that says that these are grown adults that basically have no morals, man. And we can't have people that have no morals running things. That's really how you have all kinds of problems. And it's my understanding that LA is kind of a central point. So they got to kind of like have their puppet in place because there's so much control that comes out of LA. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just sort of what I've been hearing from other people that seemingly know more about it than I do, because I'm not too familiar with California politics. But I hear that LA is an important place and they need to have their person in as the mayor. That's what I've heard.
And, you know, most importantly, though, I really think it just comes down to the fact that if they put somebody in there who actually cares, who actually does the job, then you're going to see that fixing potholes aren't that hard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're going to find out that, hey, you know, issuing building permits in Pacific Palisades, guess what? It wasn't that hard. You know, that actually putting recovery dollars where they're supposed to be is not that hard. Fixing up the homeless problems and the drugs on the street and everything can be done. You know, it's like saying, oh, you know, Biden tried to shut the border down, but he couldn't. It wasn't, you just didn't have the powers. Congress didn't act.
Right. Perfect example.
You know, so no, if he goes in there and actually does the job and does it well, that's where they fall apart because they can't have you seeing how easy it is to actually run the city well. It makes them irrelevant because they need that chaos. You know, they need that mystery about it. When we really find out that any really good businessman can go in there and just fix it once and for all
quickly,
then really good businessmen will start running for office and all of a sudden LA will be a wonderful city again, you know?
And they fear the domino effect that would come from him doing it so quickly. They were like, why have we been voting Democrat? And that's really what they fear most, I think, is that there would be a domino effect and then California becomes red.
Yeah. People just get sick of it. You know, you get a double combo with him in LA and Steve Hilton as the governor, which I doubt he's going to win that election. I'll be honest with you right now, folks. The odds of him winning the governorship are very slim. You know, 1 in 5 maybe, you know, 1 in 10 even. But you get that double whammy where suddenly the state and the city are both working in tandem to improve the lives of their citizens on a daily basis. Oh, my God. LA might even be just a great city again. You know, go west, young man. Go to California and get rich.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? If the federal government found cheating and gave absolute proof without a doubt, the left would say, Trump is being a dictator. He's doing authoritarian stuff. Hey, we told you he was going to try to take control. He's going to steal elections. He's going to have a third term. I mean, this is the mentality that these people have, right? I don't even know if the federal government can get involved. I don't know because it's a state situation, but maybe they can. I don't know.
Well, the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, Bill Esley, dropped a major bombshell. I'm reading from Gateway Pundit during a Monday interview on Glenn Beck's program, confirming that federal election fraud charges are coming against individuals in California. He said, quote, "It will be election fraud charges in the next, I hate to put a timeline on things, 1 to 2 months, I believe. We need some of these results to be certified so we can prove some of the allegations, but we will be charging some people." So they're basically waiting for them to certify it, because once they certify it, that's where it all becomes the felony. That's where it becomes the crime.
Yep. There you have it. And that's what I was saying. I think they know what's going on. I think they've got everything. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And that's just confirmation of that, if that's all true. And so when it happens, just expect the left to go even more berserk. That's what I'm saying when I was talking about we're about to have a collision course, man. I've been saying the two worlds are about to collide. Good and evil are about to collide. And it's going to be not just a tremor, but it's going to be a pretty serious shaking, man. But it will wake up more people. That's the good news.
Yeah. They're waking up, man, because this whole thing in California was really in your face. You know what I mean? It was just really in your face. There was no nice way around it. They just took it. You know, Spencer Pratt got screwed. You can't tell me that the one woman who needed the vote suddenly is up to 40% nearly in, you know, election day, post-election day counting, right? That she's skewed that far from 20% to 37% of the vote tallies after election day. And just enough to knock Spencer Pratt out of the race.
Yep.
I don't live in California. I think it's a, you know, it's a forsaken place at this point. But, you know, if you want to live out there and you support Spencer Pratt, you ought to be pissed. And I mean pissed. Because this is your city. And it's stealing it right out from under you. And a lot of moderates, you know. He wasn't, you know, they keep calling him a Republican. I thought he was an independent, you know. So he's not, you know, some die-in-the-wool Republican who's just lives by party lines. The guy's just an independent dude from Hollywood who wants better for his city. You know, I think he would personally spend his first month just every single day stamping with, you know, by hand himself as governor or as mayor, every single permit to build in Pacific Palisades in Altadena. You know, he cares.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just them showing their hand, and that all ties into the Nick Shirley Act and them, you know, wanting to basically make it criminal to expose corruption. Well, why would you want to make it criminal to expose corruption unless you, of course, were corrupt?
Yeah, and they actually passed that, didn't they? I mean, that I think it passed. The Nick Shirley Act, which really makes it, if you're like a journalist, an independent journalist, it's illegal for you to go knock on doors to find out information.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Nutsville, man. I mean, like I said, they're showing their hand, and it's becoming more and more obvious. Even Democrats are waking up to it, and hopefully, you know, they bail on the Democrat Party, because the people that control the Democrat Party are those people. They're the corrupt ones. That is who is controlling the Democrat Party. It's the globalist far left who is in complete control of the Democrat Party overall. And so if you're a middle-of-the-road Democrat, you have no business being a part of that party, because they no longer represent you. So you at least need to be an independent. I'd like to have you come over to MAGA, but at least get out of the Democrat Party, because until it has a real revolution, a peaceful revolution that is based around the idea of America, it's never going to succeed without lying, cheating, stealing, and perhaps even inciting or bringing about violence.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's amazing. And I mean, just to show you how corrupt it was, on election night, Xavier Becerra was in second place, and they confirmed his win on election night. Steve Hilton was in first place. They only confirmed his win like a few days ago or yesterday or something. I mean,
the writing's on the wall. Yeah, exactly.
You know, how blatant can you be? That's in your face kind of stuff.
They like
folks.
that. I think that's part of their strategy, right? Is we're getting away with whatever we want, and we're going to put it in your face, and there. Yeah. Are you happy now?
Mm-hmm. And let's see how easy it is to actually fix up a city. The socialist, reading from Breitbart here, socialist Seattle mayor debuts tiny homes for homeless, right? So they put up 1,000 planned tiny homes. So they just debuted the first 50, but they're going to put up 1,000 before the World Cup starts.
Okay.
Okay, well, why didn't they do this last year? Why did they need the World Cup to build 1,000 little, you know, shelters for homeless people to live in? You know what I mean? Like, you want to fix homelessness, there you go.
Yeah. Well, they had all that money. Remember, they got all kinds of money to take care of the homeless problem. In fact, Nick Shirley has talked about this ad nauseum. And that's why they don't like him, because he's saying, hey, let's have some accountability for all this money that you guys got to solve the homeless problem. And yet it's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, exactly. And these tiny homes cost $16,000. I remember in LA they were trying to do a similar thing, and the price was like $400,000, for these tiny homes or for condos or whatever they wanted to build them. No solution. This at $16,000, they're going to let these people stay in there, get them off the street through the World Cup. What will happen afterwards, though? Will they tear these things down? Will they burn them? Will they just bulldoze them and destroy them?
Well, they could just have people, wind somebody up to go burn them all down. If you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of things burning down over the last, 8 or 9 years. There's been junkyards burning at an unprecedented rate lately, like 12 big giant junkyards, because they don't want us driving the old cars. I'm not saying anybody like at the top tier is doing it, but maybe they're winding up these radicals to go out and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they might. Who knows? I mean, Antifa turning on the homeless to burn down their encampments makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I didn't have it on my bingo card, but now that you mention it, I think I'll go put that on there. Yeah, but will they just kick them out afterwards? Will they wait for basically spend $15,000 each on these things to house one homeless person for the next month or two, and then decide it's better to just literally bulldoze the whole thing, tear it down, burn it down, whatever. But not let them have this little shot at life, that they're going to have by actually having a place where they can go at night, put their stuff, their belongings, into a chest or whatever, and have a safe place where they can actually own possessions and keep them tethered behind a lock. You know what I mean? As a homeless person, you have to carry around your whole net worth on you at all times. And so, you can't go anywhere. You can't leave your little cart, because if you leave your cart in the street to go try to work, then you're going to lose it, and now you're done. So just a little chance at dignity of life here for these people. And will they give it to them permanently, or will this be like when Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco for China's leader Xi Jinping to come over?
Yeah, they have a pattern. Mark, take note, and we'll talk about this obviously after the fact and see what happened. I'm open to that.
So anyway, World Cup, we got a few minutes left. Interesting. I guess there's a lot of tickets available for games still. And even the first game that the United States is playing still has tickets unsold, and many, many tickets on the secondary market, which, could, you might see those dropping drastically by game day. And because if you're holding on to 10 tickets or whatever.
New York Knicks games, I'm sure.
What's that?
I said probably cheaper than the New York Knicks final game tickets, right? I mean, $100,000, $200,000, even the cheaper ones, like $20,000.
Yeah, and you see Spike Lee down there for every single game, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the World Cup will be interesting. It's funny because you're putting it in a country that just doesn't care about soccer. We call it soccer. We don't even call it football, right? Like, really, to the large degree of Native Americans like myself, I've tried to watch a couple football games, but or soccer games, but they're just so boring. They're really, there's not anything to it. It's like watching paint dry or something. It's like, it's more slow than baseball even. And that says a lot, right? Because baseball is very slow.
I didn't grow up on it, so.
Yeah,
it's kind of a new American phenomenon. We've always had football, basketball; those were kind of the top sports. Then, of course, we had hockey and the smaller sports like tennis. But soccer just kind of a new thing that was brought over. And I'm not really fond of it. I played it when I was, growing up, but I only played it for a couple of years. I didn't stick with it.
Yeah, I played it for a couple of years, really, because my mom made me. Really, you're signing up for soccer.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, all right. I never had any interest in it whatsoever. And, the little shin pads were cool, and the cleats on the shoes were kind of cool. But, once I started running around the house with them, that put an end to that sport. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Will these stadiums sell out? Will you have big games, like major games that have like 20% empty seats? It'd be interesting to, see that. It'd shock the rest of the world. I mean, there's countries out there where like every single TV in the country will be turned on to certain games, and they, watch it with a loyalty that you couldn't imagine.
The hype alone will get the seats filled. The social engineers are masters at the propaganda, and they want to promote the bread and circus society. So yeah, it's going to probably be a big deal. They'll make it a big deal.
Yeah. Too big to fail. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they probably pay people to go and fill the seats if they have to. They got to keep that illusion that this is what's the most important thing is bread and circus.
Will the ticket brokers take a bath on it, though? If you're sitting on 20 tickets to, a game next week and you're still not selling them for anywhere near what you paid for them, there could be a reckoning here in the final days where they start going for, $20 or whatever just to get rid of them, like get me something out of this, So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, folks, that's about time for today. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we will see you on Sunday night.
Thank you for listening to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. If you missed any of tonight's show, you can find it and others in our archives. Thanks again, and you can catch us next week for another brand new show.